Well, my friend, only one place to start. Anfield, home of the champions, facing their biggest rivals, Manchester United, the two most successful clubs in English football. I kind of think, Rob, before we get into the detail, that there was a thought that Liverpool, off 3 straight defeats in all competitions, maybe it'll be a day to kick into gear and get the job done. For Manchester United, could they go back-to-back first time in the Premier League? Could Ruben Amorim put a performance together that gives a bit more hope and belief? You know, this year he was backed by the club, wasn't he, about Sir Jim Ratcliffe coming out and saying it could take 3 years and he'll be given the time. I'm not sure anybody quite saw a 2-1 Manchester United victory.
Yeah, they didn't. Quickly, I think part of the story of this game, Rob, was the team selection.
Yeah.
Unchanged Liverpool after losses, and he stuck with the same guys, said, let's continue going, I believe in you guys. But Man United, after a victory against Sunderland in their last game, they made a couple of changes. Harry Maguire was one story.
Correct.
And the other story was Matheus Cunha was in for Benjamin Šeško. Šeško scored in his last two. And, you know, we had a little conversation about it, and is he overthinking it? Is Harry Maguire the right guy to go up against, you know...
Possibly Isak, wasn't it?
Alexander Isak.
Pacey.
Wow. And we did kind of think, well, his main advantage is his set-piece prowess.
Yeah, he talked about that, didn't he?
So that obviously came through. So the decisions of Ruben Amorim worked out great.
Yeah.
But just go on then, Rob. Why don't you get started with... I mean, there was so much to talk about in the game, so much drama, so much action. Brilliant game of football for us to show and react to. What's, I guess, the biggest kind of headline at the start when you think back at this match?
The headline at the start is that the champions are totally out of tune. That's my biggest takeaway. And before Manchester United fans start, I'm going to credit them because I thought they were in tune. I thought there was a spirit and personality about them. They had to hang it at times. They had a bit of luck with the ball coming off the post. But you know what, Rob? They deserved the luck. Harry Maguire, who was very close to winning my underappreciated performer of the week, only that he's an England international and probably is more appreciated by people who know him and people who watch him regularly. And a big call up front where I thought the Cunha and Burmo Mount mobility probably caused Liverpool more problems than Šeško being a central figure who they might have fought with, and I don't think would have caused them as many problems.
Yeah, I think so. You'll never know.
No.
I mean, to be fair, Šeško makes that run, and Burmo's kind of goal that he scored running in behind Van Dijk, which we'll get to. I think he makes that sort of run as well. But anyway, I think the two of them were very mobile. Cunha, I just like Cunha. I think he's a very busy player.
Surprisingly, no goals, no assists yet. Yeah, he's playing particularly well.
He's playing particularly
well.
The
goals will come, won't they?
Yeah, I mean, I think for Manchester United now on the back of this, and you know, in terms of performance, it had most things that you'd want, particularly away from home at Liverpool, the champions, the biggest rivals. I mean, they had to defend for long periods.
Correct.
They took advantage of moments going forward, the set piece, the really 63 seconds, the goal that they scored to get in behind Liverpool really well. I think that the biggest thing, like I know you asked Rebecca in the Lowdown show after we did our main show, you know, is this a turning point?
Yeah.
I think it's an opportunity to kick on and to have a consistent run of performance and results. That's what that does. You know, another day they could have certainly drawn the game, possibly lost the game, but they didn't. No. They found a way to win, and they held on there. And it could be a situation now, Rob. They're 2 points behind Liverpool. But more importantly, they're looking up. They're looking up in the table, and I think Man United fans will start to be more excited about that, about looking up and not thinking about, you know, towards the bottom half of the season. So that's what's really important for Ruben Amorim. I know Sir Jim give him a bit of a vote of confidence with that statement, but I think that's the important part. Is now can they capitalise on 2 wins, some feel-good factor, and you got your front 3 players that ended up. They finished the game, or I know Šeško came in, and you had the front 3 that we'd like to see. They're all fit, so now is the time to judge the players, the manager. Well, you spent a lot of money in the summer on new forwards. Now we're seeing it. Now it's a fair amount of period where, all right, you should have improved the team with those signings and that money spent. Can we see it on a consistent basis? 2 games in, great. But still work to do on that. Yeah,
I'd agree. I sort of my takeaway is it was points and progress today. They got the 2 Ps. I thought that, you know, the 3 points were important for them to go back to back and kill all that. It was the first away win since March. Apparently, since they would beat Leicester 1-0. It's crazy for a team. But it's added to all that. But I thought there was a bit of progress, Rob, and we've said that along with Ruben Amorim. Regardless of where we are, we've got to keep seeing some progress, and that was a step in the right direction. So
I think
we'll give credit
Brian
to
and
them.
Burma, Rob, deserves a little mention, I think, for Manchester United, and others, of course, as well. But he seems to me that he's in. As a right forward, he's in the team every week. He's consistent.
It looks
Took his
like the
goal
play
really well.
it was at
He
Brentford.
does.
I think that's the biggest compliment. He's gone to Manchester United. And I remember, Rob, it was really interesting in the summer series. We sat down with Ruben Amorim, and he didn't play Brian Burma until I think the last game of 3 that they played. And he kind of said, it's so important for players at Manchester United to get a good start. And he said, I wasn't going to put him in the best position, like he wasn't fully fit and all that. He said, I don't want the fans to see me. I want him to...
A good initial impact.
Yeah, and he has had that, and he's got goals, and he's been unlucky. He's had a couple of good goalkeeper saves. I think he's hit the post once or twice himself. But you're right, it's a good shout. He's sort of seamlessly fitted into a Manchester United team and gone, the step up, and that's looking pretty good business.
The other person, Rob, before we switch to Liverpool a little bit, Laman's the goalkeeper. I mean, they've got...
Might have found one.
the guy. I mean, I know, it's only a couple of games in, but he looks pretty confident, pretty assured. He's young. It's an incredibly heavy jersey, like a goalkeeper. That football
Centre
club.
forward and goalkeeper at Manchester United are the two most critical positions in that team. And you're right. I think, was he 23 years of age? Royal Antwerp. I know he's Belgium. Thibaut Courtois, his mentor apparently, and he wants to get to that. I thought he did particularly well, Rob, when there's a shot that Mo Salah, and we'll talk about Mo later, but he hits it over the bar, snapshot. I thought Lemon's come out and looked big and aggressive and flying out, and he kind of affected Salah a bit. He got his first clean sheet last week against Sunderland. This was a step up, Rob. Going to Anfield to play the champions was a test of nerve as much as ability, and he came out firing. So, it's a good shout.
Into the game for Liverpool, Rob, the storylines were defensively concerning, conceding a lot of goals for them. I think twice as many as the same point last season. In fact, more than that. The midfield fluidity hasn't been the same, and the attacking punch hasn't been there. Players out of condition. One of the stories from the lineup is that Ugo Ekitike, Rob, that looked so good initially the first few games of the season before Isak came, continued on the bench. And it was Isak, who the manager had said, you can now start to judge him. He's in good shape. Physically, we'll give him extra work. He was a story to stay as a centre forward. And Mo Salah, his struggles on the right. And after that game, is there those concerns still there? Or
nothing changed. 90 minutes of Liverpool today told me nothing has changed. Mo doesn't look any sharper, look any more like scoring. Isak looks below the level that we saw the sharp forward who Liverpool decided they want to go through all this for and pay the kind of money. Ekitike came on and affected the game, as did all the subs. In fairness to Arne Slot, he made subs that did change the game. Ngamo on the other side as well. But, and I said on air, Rob, when I look at Liverpool at the moment, I don't feel there's any one part of the team that's playing particularly well, that's reliable, that's consistent.
Well, let's start with that then. Let's start from the back line, right?
Yeah.
Let's start with the back line. And the first goal today, Virgil van Dijk, Robbie Earle, is a player that we generally have adored him.
He's been a Rolls Royce, hasn't he?
Magnificent player. There's been a few questions of whether he's lost a step or whether he's, maybe dropping off a little bit. I don't know. I thought he was at fault for the first goal, for that quick goal.
You highlighted, didn't you, the run-in from Mbeumo and that he didn't recognise it.
Is he preoccupied? I'm just trying to give him an out here. Is he so concerned with Milos Kerkez that he's took his eye off his own game and thinking about helping him or berating him or...
There definitely feels to be, and again, I said to you before, I've watched a bit of tape, there seems to be a little bit of... say unrest, but a little bit of something between him and Kerkez. A couple of times he barks at Kerkez and Kerkez doesn't look happy and vice versa. I wondered, Rob, and this is my own thought, no statistics, no data to back it up. I just wonder if he's affected by Trent Alexander-Arnold and Andrew Robertson not being in the team. He's played 6-7 years with those, knowing where they are and relying on them. They know when they can get forward. They know when they need to get back. He's almost had like a telepathic relationship The right-back situation is a bit of a problem. Conor Bradley did okay today, but not great. Frimpong came on. Zoboszlai's dropped in there. That isn't it. The Kirkes thing, I think, is a bit of an issue. Doesn't look like they are on the same wavelength at the moment.
But it shouldn't affect... He's got to make sure he does his job, Rob.
Well, that's what I'm saying. But maybe if he's kind of almost worried about it... And by the way, let me just throw one more thing to you. Ibrahim Konate's not been at the same level that he's been. So all of a sudden, like, I'm worrying a bit... My right back's a bit different. My left back's... We haven't got the relationship. And then my partner's not quite at it. I know what you're saying, like, well, that's more reason for him to have his game right.
He's more preoccupied with worrying about other...
Yeah,
and it takes off his own game.
Yeah,
I mean, most of the time in games, and he looks magnificent.
Yeah, of course.
But that first goal was like, what? That you should have covered that run and just a little sloppy and a little slow getting back there. And Konate couldn't come across. Into the midfield then, Rob. So what's the issues in there? How do you feel differently?
I feel like McAllister, I think, generally is not hit his level yet, hasn't hit his rhythm. Graham Birch was back in the team, does well. Zoboszlai continues to play in 2 or 3 positions and can affect the game. You know, he's the one that is untouchable
really
at the moment.
Consistent with his work ethic and what he does.
But the balance of that doesn't look right. And the control, Rob, one of the big things they had last year was I felt they controlled the opposition better than they are now. And I think they're getting more exposed because it got a bit basketball today. You know, Man United having shots hitting the post, Liverpool having shots hitting the post. Now, which is great for us, you know, highlights and neutrals, but it ain't great if you're Liverpool Football Club. I mean, it ain't great if you're Liverpool's defence and people are making runs through you all over the place.
They got through quite a few times very easily. It wasn't as though Man United did brilliant play, though I've got to say the ball from Bruno for Maguire's winning goal was a brilliant cross.
Was.
But they got cut through a few times. Moving forward, so... I thought Cody Gakpo, Rob.
Yeah.
I think he's pretty unaffected. I think well done to him because I think his level and his numbers are pretty good.
Yeah.
And they're normal Gakpo numbers in terms of goals, assists.
Yeah.
He's a consistent player. He runs up and down really well. Of course, he missed an incredible opportunity at the end to get something for the game, possibly. But I think from what we expect of Gakpo, we're kind of seeing it. Alexander Isak, Rob, and Mo Salah.
Yeah.
Talk to me about either one of those first. Let's start with Isak.
Yeah.
It's never easy going to a different club.
No.
And we know the pre-season now was unaffected. But the manager says now he's in good shape. Should he have done better with that chance?
I think he should. I think a sharp, on form, Newcastle-esque Isak buries that. I think he buries it. I don't think the keeper has a chance to move. I'm going to throw one back at you, Mustoe. If you're on a slot, in any way does Isak's fee outweigh Etikite's form?
Yeah. 1,000,000%, yes.
Well, I hear you. So I'm saying Liverpool go to Brentford next week, away at Brentford, which is going to be a difficult game. We'll review that. But just let me make my point. Based on where we're at, and Arne Slot saying he had 90 minutes with Sweden. He's had some games. He's had some training. He said, like, we can start to judge him now. Based on that we're now at equal level, Ekitike should start ahead of Isak.
He should start. I mean, Ekitike's kind of energy when he came into the game in this match, like he made, he helped with the first goal, didn't he? I just going back to that point. Yeah, right now in terms of form, Ekitike's playing great, and Isak's not.
Yeah.
But I think you've got to, in regarding the fee here, but you've got to think about the potential level.
Correct.
Right, and Isak's potential level is. We don't know. We're not sure where Ekitike's ceiling's going to be. But
we kind of feel we've seen him, haven't we, in the Premier League?
It's a balance between let's let him get to this level that we know he can get, or are we gonna? He ain't there yet. Are we gonna sit him and then?
How long do we wait?
Well, I don't know.
How long do we wait?
That's a good question. I think he might get another game.
So the Brentford game again, another week's work. I mean, they've got a game Champions League, haven't they?
Oh, they have.
Eintracht on Wednesday.
Yeah, they have on
so
on Wednesday.
So that's Champions League. Game, whether he decides
so he might switch him up for that.
Switch him up, and then does he give him another shot? I mean, I'm with you. If both start playing at the capacity, Isak goes another level, and we know that, and we've seen that, and that's why you spend that money. But kind of, Rob, if he's not at that level, and I'm on a slot, I kind of feel like this kid's flying and doing well, I got to play him.
I'll go back and say it again, and maybe in a few weeks, months' time, this will sound silly, but when we saw Isak the first time at Anfield, we saw those first few games, and we said, he looks really comfortable and bright and effective and scoring goals.
Yeah.
Do they really need to continue pursuit of Isak?
Yeah, you
Obviously
did.
they did.
They
spent the money, and now you have that difficult situation where one's not going to start.
Okay, one man who does start every week, Mo Salah. I think it's 2 goals so far now in 8 games. Missing a few chances that he would normally take. Not quite looking the same player. Now, Rob, out there, and everybody's got their, Salah reasoning. Is he missing Trent? Has he got the right relationship? Is it since he signed the contract? Or the midfield getting him the service where he wants it? You take your pick of which of the reasons you don't feel. How do we get him back? What do we need to do? Is he somebody who would you would drop, or does he respond badly to that kind of thing?
It's a good question, isn't it? And again, I think the reasoning he hasn't been dropped is that the potential's course there.
Yeah,
and
the numbers.
He's, is it one of them where there he goes, he's starting to score goals, and then he starts going on a run. I mean, I haven't checked out the data and fact on this, but I was listening to somebody talk about Mo Salah, and from the back end of last season, he wasn't scored that many goals from open play.
Yeah.
And it's kind of continued as if the effectiveness of his talents and abilities is starting to wane. Again, I haven't checked the numbers on all that. It's interesting when you think back, and I don't know. Does he get? I think he is the sort that gets quite a few more games because of the history.
Yeah,
Robert.
absolutely. I mean, the numbers alone, mate.
Yeah, but right now, I mean, the chance that he had, he kind of shanked off his wrong part of his foot. It's like, wow, this is so not Mo. But I don't know. We'll see. But between those things, the last thing on this, Rob, and I said it on our show, but Slots, strong words like, we just need 1 or 2% more effectiveness, energy or focus in defending bits and attacking bits. So that's the difference so far. They conceded goals, they haven't scored. And today was exactly the same. Back to the first question.
It was penalty boxes, wasn't it?
It was penalty boxes. And Verge, a little bit more percentage effort stops that first goal.
Yeah.
And some of those finishes and a little bit more focus, determination,
the
it might have made a difference.
Yeah, it could have been a different score, couldn't it? Yeah.
He'll try, I guess, for the next few games.
Yeah. Well, it's credit to Manchester United on a day, obviously. Yeah. That's 4 straight defeats now for Liverpool, go into the Champions League and then Brentford next week. Can you imagine, from last season what they did? It's all up for grabs, my friend.